Do you need a hug or a Band-Aid? Okay, I'd like to offer real life examples so you fully get what it means for a child to have a feeling based upon a situation or something that happens to them and develop these wrong thoughts about themselves. So move away from their true, authentic heart self to this wounded egoic self. A big one for me, that is the elephant in the room, and for many of the people that I coach, are sensitives, empaths, HSPs. Most every single one, including myself, didn't know we were sensitive growing up. Our parents didn't know it. Our guardians didn't know it. So they were not able to empower us and support our sensitivity. Instead, the message was, you're too sensitive. Every person I coach that's a sensitive has said that. They've heard it from everyone their whole life. Oh, you're just too sensitive. So imagine in childhood, that's the message you hear all the time. I remember the rolling of the eyes, the rolling of the eyes. Kim, that your underdeveloped brain doesn't know what to do with. So what it does do is the message is, there's something wrong with me. Yeah, I must be too sensitive. I'm not enough. I need to change. The problem is, it's who we are, so we can't change. So that's the first thing I do with my sensitives, is I show them how it's their superpower and how they didn't get the right message their whole childhood. I give them the right message. Now they can step into their heart self and be like, wow, this is who I am, and it's a superpower, and they can live a life to thrive. So that is a great example, the sensitivity. Here's a good example, because I'm a mom of a kid who's now 19, but when he was younger and he would fall and get hurt, I was not the mom that ran to him immediately, oh, are you okay? No, I was very calm. And I remember one day my son coming to me and saying, do you even care that I got hurt? And I said, oh, absolutely. I was watching you to make sure and see that you were okay. And I saw that you were, and you took care of yourself. So I was teaching my child that he could take care of himself. He could comfort himself. He could soothe himself. Maybe I needed to interject more. See, that's where the wrong messaging can happen. I have a friend who shared that when her children would get hurt, she would ask them, do you need a hug or a Band-Aid? I love that. Do you need a hug or a Band-Aid? Even in that, she's teaching them to tell her what they need. And she's also infusing, I believe in you, that you can tell me what you need. We want to infuse empowerment into our children. So if you overprotect or overbaby or overcater to your children, they're going to have this dependence energy, and it also has this feeling of non-belief energy into your children, that you don't believe they can do it. You've got to do it for them. So as you can see, there's got to be a really good balance there. And of course, then understanding your child's personality. Do they have the personality type where they actually need a little more comfort than maybe your other child? You tune in and you know. But you wrap it all around with infusing belief energy into that child that they can do it. And so you're really teaching them the tools to empower themselves and comfort themselves. But you have to demonstrate how to do that. And of course, we have when traumas happen. That is the most devastating thing to children. Traumas, abuse, neglect. Those are definitely going to give all kinds of really untrue messages to children. I have a trauma event from when I was 4, and I was shamed and laughed at. And so I was severely embarrassed from this situation. And so the message for me is, I'm an embarrassment. I'm to be laughed at. I'm not worth being known. And I shut down my little free spirit around people. I was very free-spirited and just loved life and loved experiencing life. But after that event, I had to hide me, because when a young child is experiencing abuse, a trauma of some kind, they were being themselves. They thought they were being good. And then it turned on them and they feel this tremendous shame. They take on the shame of the victimizer and they make it their own. So I feel shame becomes, I am shameful. I am bad. I'm not worth being known. I am to be laughed at. That was my message. And so when I went to school, when I started in kindergarten, I didn't speak. I barely spoke in school. I couldn't be seen. I didn't want to be seen, because the last time I was really seen, I was severely embarrassed. We will do anything to not have that horrible feeling that we had from the trauma happen again. So you can see where ego steps in and creates all these defense mechanisms, and I'm not really living. I'm not living to my fullest expression at all. I'm living so small because I don't want to feel that way again. And so coaching and counseling helps us undo this messaging, retrain the brain. What happened in that trauma event, that's what happened to me, to you. It's not who you are. So we get real with who you are. You are your heart self. You are not that trauma. You are not that trauma story. Okay, let's take the child that's raised with everything's given to them. They're the golden child. They're so amazing. And everything's easy. They're not really disciplined. The message is, I don't have to do anything to get what I want. And everything should be given to me. Kind of an entitled perspective. So their ego believes they're entitled. If that's you, you got to undo some of this entitlement and probably learn how to be more giving, more kind, seeing other people's perspectives, because you weren't really raised with learning that other people matter and I have an impact on them and I need to share of myself. Children who were abandoned, rejected by their parents, wow, there's a lot of worthlessness there. They don't feel worthy. Children who had to grow up really fast, who had to, in essence, maybe take care of a parent that has an addiction or something that I mentioned before, they probably put themselves last. They have the template where I need to give, and give, and I don't matter, because their parent couldn't attend to their needs. So as we grow up, we actually become our parent or guardian. We don't take care of our own needs. I see that with a lot of overgivers. They give and give and give, and the reason they're giving to such depletion is that's all they know, and they don't matter. The message they got was, I don't matter. I coached only men for a year, and I will tell you that most all of the men that I coached had parents who were very harsh disciplinarians to them, beating them, and whoa. Imagine the message that that child's taking on. To be hit that hard in an abusive fashion, ego creates all kinds of unworthy messages from that, including anger and hatred. Or, depending on the personality type, it can go to the severe end of taking everything personally from anyone, just a super hypersensitivity. Walking on eggshells because you don't want to upset anyone. That's a template that can be given from that kind of a situation. Let's just go with not being understood for your personality type. That's why I start every coaching session with, let's take the Myers-Briggs and kind of have a baseline and see, does this personality type sound like you? And we look at the strengths and weaknesses, because sometimes these life experiences causes us to not even have any idea who we are. It really does steal our true identity. We got to find that true identity again, because living from our true identity is where it's at. That's where we feel amazing. That's where we can communicate in healthy ways and live our best life and make great decisions. I've had people have a really hard time even taking the personality test because even answering the questions can cause someone to not even know, am I like this or not? These experiences truly do steal our true identity, but we can find her. We can. With love, we'll find her.